Summer 2016 meeting between a Russian lawyer and Donald Trump Jr. has, of course, become the centerpiece for the Russia collusion conspiracy theory that has completely overwhelmed the workings of government. Increasingly, though, that meeting looks like it may have been a setup designed from the outset to sabotage the Trump campaign. Lee Smith has looked carefully at this. He writes for Real Clear Investigations. He has a brand new piece on it today, which you should read. It's fascinating. And he joins us tonight. Lee, so you took a very close look at this meeting. What did you conclude?
Yeah, thanks, Tucker, for having me on. Look, I think one of the most important things to look at, it's actually there's one key to it, and that is the Russian lawyer that is supposed to be the test of the proof of collusion. This was a client of Glenn Simpson, and Glenn Simpson was the person who was responsible for producing the Clinton-funded dossier. So how does this happen? How does this combination happen? How are all these people in the same room? I think that's the essential point that's been elided or obscured almost all the time in the press. And I think that once the people look at that fact, things start to become clearer.
And you're speaking of Veselnitskaya, is that correct?
Yes, exactly, Natalia Veselnitskaya.
So explain the famous Russian attorney who says she was in there to talk about Russian adoptions, and then others say she was there to peddle dirt on Hillary Clinton. How is she a client of Glenn Simpson's?
Yeah, the whole idea about her talking about adoptions, that's part of her effort to roll back the Magnitsky Act, which was sanctioning Russian officials and other associates of Vladimir Putin. So, again, Glenn Simpson, who was hired by the Clinton campaign to produce the dossier allegedly unearthing Trump's ties to Russia, is actually working on behalf of pro-Kremlin interest. That's what Natalia Veselnitskaya is doing in that meeting. She's actually pushing a campaign that Glenn Simpson is partnered with to roll back American legislation on Putin regime officials and other associates.
So a Glenn Simpson client is the key to the case that the Trump family was involved in colluding with the Russian government. Glenn Simpson also the person paid to assemble a dossier proving collusion between the Trump family and the Russian government. So why is this not a widely known fact?
I mean, look, I think that basically what's happened here is I think that we've seen Fusion GPS and we've seen the press basically take a picture, right? And the picture is of Donald Trump and other Trump campaign members in a meeting with a Russian lawyer. And then they wrote the caption underneath. And what does the caption say? Collusion. The other caption is the real caption is something else. The facts are different. The facts that Veselnitskaya is there working on a case that Glenn Simpson is also working on. They're partnered on the same job on behalf of pro-Kremlin interest. So, yes, it's an enormous issue that that has been misreported or underreported since the story first broke a little more than a year ago now in 2017, reporting the 2016 meeting.
It's just an amazing fact. It's really, a year ago I never would have believed any of this. Lee Smith, thank you for that. It was great reporting.
Thank you, Tucker. Thanks.
Antifa got violent in Washington and Charlottesville yesterday. The press tried to ignore it, but it happened. It's on tape. Mark Stein joins us after the break to discuss exactly what happened.